I hope you have unlimited text messaging by Ms. Carr. Chapter 110. Dear Tony, Stephen Carter sent you a message via Friday Messenger service. Dear Tony, we have less than 2 weeks before we see each other again, and I'm really excited! However, I really do think Jane hates you because I finally read through the rest of the questions, and a lot of these are going to be hard for you to answer or even come up with fake answers for. I am sad that you have to pretend with other people, but at the same time, I'm happy that I get to see the real you. I'm glad that you trust me enough now to see you. This shows that we've come a long way in the last few months. So let's see how many of these questions I can get through before the counselor forces me to sleep for the night. I tell him I need less sleep than a normal person, but he doesn't believe me. What roles do love and affection play in your life? This is almost an easy question compared to everything else. If it wasn't for love, I don't think I would be where I am right now. I don't know if I would have survived this new time without people that love me. At the same time, my love for the people I knew before kept me holding on to the past for a long time. Thankfully, you give me a reason to let go and move forward. Let's talk about my friends that love me. The counselor loves me platonically, of course, otherwise I think he would have turned himself into the armed forces, even though he says I'm the worst patient he's ever had to deal with. He pities my actual therapist. But he keeps me safe right now and listens to me talk way too much about you. Also, if I didn't love James platonically, things in Siberia would have went differently. Then again, maybe not that differently because I love you and I wasn't going to let you have that blood on your hands. So I think love plays a big role in my decision making. Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. Share a total of 5 items. I guess we can't really do that one the way they intended us to do it in this format, so let me just name 5 positive characteristics about you, and then you can send me 5 back. 1. You're smart. You're the smartest man I have ever met, and considering the people I have met, that's saying a lot. Although I will tell you, I've met at least one woman recently that probably has you beat. That being said, your mind still amazes me sometimes. Although I do wish you had more common sense sometimes. 2. You care about people. Not just people you know personally, but also people you have never met. You are always sacrificing yourself, or at the very least, your happiness for the sake of others. You genuinely care about the people working at SI, not just the executives, but down to the cleaning crew. You also care about the other people with powers, and not just your teammates, but people like Miss Marvel and Spidey Jr. You're in DC trying to protect everyone, and you don't have to, but you do. I admire and respect that about you. I thought you were selfish before, maybe because I read a little too much of the S.H.I.E.L.D. dossier, or saw one too many things about you in the news. But you're not that person. You wouldn't have been by my side during the Battle of New York, if you were who I thought you were. 3. You love kids. You absolutely love them, especially your kids. I see that in the way you're protecting of Benji, the Purple Arrow children, Miss Marvel, and Spidey Jr., even before I knew that you were pen pals with that kid from Tennessee, and I think you would make a good father or guardian to a child someday, as long as you don't do a repeat of Germany. That was stupid. 4. You learn from your mistakes. A lot of people don't. They just keep making them over and over again. That's not you. You acknowledge them. You now know you made a wrong call in bringing Benji to Germany, and you're trying to do better now. It takes a big person to not only acknowledge their mistakes, but learn from them. 5. You're forgiving and willing to give almost anybody a second chance, including me. That is just shocking, considering how many times you've been stabbed in the back by people that you trusted, like Obadiah. Yet you let your heart stay open because you let me back in after what happened. I am still shocked about that. But I'm glad you let me back in after the mistakes I made. I think that's what I love the most about you. How close and warm is your family? Do you feel your childhood was happier than most other people's? This question is hard because my biological family is gone. Not that it wasn't very big to begin with, not counting my dad's second secret family. But my mom always made me feel like I was the most important thing in her world. Maybe I was. I always felt loved. And when she died, it hurt so much. It wasn't sudden, like what happened to your mom. She was sick for a while. It's just I didn't expect to lose her. I mean, I was the sickly one. I was the one who was supposed to drop dead at any minute, not her. I wasn't prepared for that. I was a mess when it happened, and thank God I had Bucky to pick up the pieces because I wouldn't have survived without him. I know that sounds odd considering what happened to your mom because of him, or rather what Hydra made happen, but it's the way I felt back then. Bucky was like my big brother growing up. He was the one who would always have my back. Since he always had my back in the past, I felt like I had to do the same for him, especially because I let him down the way I did before. Because of the way I handled the situation with Bucky and you in Siberia, I feel like the Avengers family is in pieces. For a while, I felt like I finally had a place where I fit in this crazy world. A new family, but it's gone now, and it's because of my choices. Even Red is gone, and I don't blame her for trying to start a normal life. She's on call if something bad happens, but I hope nothing does. I wish Lily's aunt would send a letter or something to let me know where she is and how she's doing. It would be better if she would just come back. But you mentioned she was busy with Melinda's daughter, which is understandable. That is also good because Melinda was really worried about Skyquake when we were in Johannesburg. Would you be okay if I considered Melinda family even though she's my ex-girlfriend? She still understands things that a lot of people don't. Although, thanks to Tabit, knowing my connection to you, I can't really email her. I guess you're my family now, along with the counselor. You're a good part of my family, and I know you love me, so that's good. That second question I almost don't want to touch, mostly because I know the answer for you, and it wasn't pretty. The answer wasn't pretty for me either. I was sick all the time. Sometimes I know we didn't have money for food, and Mama got hungry so I could eat. She worked 2 jobs and we still didn't have enough because I was so sick. But I had my mom and my pseudo-brother, and that's all I really needed. I was doing better than a lot of other kids back then. I miss that Bucky. It was us against the world when we were growing up. I feel like I want to talk to him about what's going on in my life, but I can't because of what Hydra did to him. That smart woman I mentioned earlier, she's taking care of him. I hope she has a breakthrough soon, and maybe James will wake up. Maybe he already has, because it's not like it's safe for me to get updates from her. In the end, it really doesn't matter. He's never going to be that James again, because too much has happened. Then again, I'm not who I was back then. Why should I expect that of him? Maybe I'm having trouble letting go of the past, but I'm trying.
How do you feel about your relationship with your mother? Even though my mom died young, I felt like we had a good relationship. I could tell her anything, well, almost anything. She didn't know about Artie, but she was so sick at the time that I didn't want her to worry. Sometimes I wonder how our relationship would be if she lived in this time. Would you be okay with me having a boyfriend? Especially a billionaire boyfriend? I don't know. I hope she would be happy that I found someone I love and who loves me, but I'm not sure. She was a very devout Catholic. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I think we need to actually be talking to each other to do the next question. Please, Tony, apologize to Jane, even though I don't think you should apologize for coming out again. Just for some of the other stuff. I don't want to have to come up with answers we can actually use in the New York Times.